Back in my day, killers covered their faces with more terrifying things like hockey masks and William Shatner's face.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Chromeskull Laid to Rest 2 is yet another one of those sequels that starts up right where the first movie left off. The killer from the first film has somehow survived some pretty serious wounds to kidnap another victim and go about his shenanigans once more. Now, as some of you may have seen, I made a sort of announcement video for this year's October reviews. I said that I was going to pick sequels which were just as good, if not better, than their predecessors. And it's been an entire 6 years since I last watched both of the Laid to Rest movies, and I can't exactly make a judgment call for the first movie right now. I'm going to have to revisit that sometime, but in the case of Chromeskull, it's not as good as I initially thought it was. That's not to say that this film comes without its positive aspects. One thing that I do like about it is how it switches things up when it comes to its main protagonist. With the first movie, the main character has amnesia, and as an audience member, you're in the same boat as her, where you don't know anything about her. With this film, you actually get to know the main protagonist before she gets kidnapped, and the film does a good job at establishing a strong sense of sympathy for her. It's revealed right away that she has this condition which may or may not end up rendering her completely blind. So once she does get kidnapped by this sadistic killer, it isn't exactly helping this traumatic situation. However, the best thing about this movie, which is usually the best thing in any slasher film, is the gore. When it comes to the kill scenes, the special effects are absolutely top-notch. They utilize this combination of CG and practical effects to make the kills look as realistic and as painful as possible. Like, there's one point where the killer is stabbing someone in the face, and it's not just a neat shot in the middle of the forehead where she dies instantly. He accidentally just gets her in the side right there, and I mean, needless to say, it's gruesome as hell. Now, those are some pretty strong positives for this film, but as a whole, they don't help make Chromeskull a good movie. And this first complaint that I have really wouldn't be an issue with me if I hadn't already known about the director's initial vision when he made the first Laid to Rest. Apparently, when this guy made the first Laid to Rest, he took a lot of inspiration from the films Captivity and Saw, which were films that he really enjoyed, but he essentially wanted to make something like them that was more realistic and grounded in reality. And again, I can't make a full judgment call when it comes to the first movie. I'm going to have to revisit it. But the second film is made by the same director, and he immediately throws all of that realism out the door. First of all, there's the fact that Chromeskull has all of these little helpers. He has, like, an entire company of people who are helping him kidnap people and make weapons and, torture people for him. And by comparison, it makes the Hostel movies look completely real. I mean, I don't typically like to have an origin for everything that I watch. I don't want everything to be spelled out for me, but something like this kind of needs a little bit of explanation. How did this company come to be? How did he even get these people to just help him out on this? Hey, so I really like killing people. Could you, help me do that? I'll kill you if you don't. Okay. Also, there's a ton of really bad dialogue in this movie. there's a bit where this guy in the film who apparently had his best friend killed by Chromeskull in the first movie is watching a video of him and his best friend hanging out, and they're just chanting, "Sexy bitches are my favorite kind of bitches." And you know, it's supposed to be this really emotional scene, and yeah, it's totally heartbreaking. They liked sexy bitches. I'm really invested right now. And that character in question makes some pretty stupid decisions in this movie. Like, there's a point where he meets the girl who is going blind, and they're both in the killer's den, and he's telling her what kind of stuff this killer does, and for whatever reason, he has to show her one of Chromeskull's victims, pulls a sheet off of the body, which is really just going to traumatize her further and probably ruin your chances of getting out. She might even end up thinking you're the killer if you're standing there showing her this freshly murdered body. There's also a scene where those two characters are standing in the dark. Somehow the lights have been turned off, and yet there's still enough light to see, like, everything. And somehow they're not able to see where Chromeskull is, despite the fact that what adequate lighting there is shining off of his chrome mask. Hey, now that there's less lighting in here, I bet you totally can't see me. I mean, in the case of the girl who's going blind, I can understand in her case she might not be able to see Chromeskull, but the guy shows no hint whatsoever that he has any kind of vision problems. Oh yeah, he's just too stupid to function. So yeah, as I said at the beginning of the video, I clearly didn't make the right judgment call in picking this movie for the lineup. I mean, people change, opinions change, mistakes happen. I at least had fun reviewing this movie, and I would say if you just want to see a gory slasher movie with great visual effects and you're not bothered by the fact that it's dumb and makes little to no sense, then go ahead and check out Chromeskull Laid to Rest too. And with that, I hope you all have a good one.